Every surfer started out as a kook. In my mind, that just means that every surfer started at a point in which they didn't know how to surf, and they needed to go out into the water and earn that respect. Learn how to be in the water, learn how to read the waves, and so on. In the exact same way that every person that started a business didn't know how to run a business, doesn't know what business is, doesn't know how to face the challenges that creating a business brings. But it's essential that you go through that phase of not knowing. So in the same way that the kook must go out into the water and learn and earn the respect, is the exact same way that you must take action in the face of the unknown and learn as you go. And that is how you gain confidence. And that is how you avoid being an imposter or feeling like you're being fake. Because you know you're not fake. Because you know what you've been through, what you've done, and what you've created, and who you are. And you have conviction in that vision. I remember back before I really knew how to surf, I had surfed a few times, but I never really stood up on the board. I didn't know how to surf. I didn't know anything about surfboards, about waves, yada, yada, yada. I always thought it would be so cool to like get those pictures of walking out to the waves and walking in from the waves. And I remember when I was younger, I did like a photo shoot where I took those pictures and I didn't even surf. And like maybe I went out and I just like sat out there, and again, that's good enough too. And that's part of my journey. But it's funny that when I was doing that, it felt so odd. Why did it feel odd? Because I didn't earn that. Because ultimately, I was being an imposter. And that's a very important lesson to understand on our journey toward creating our desired life. That to be somebody that is nasty at surfing and can be out there and have the respect of everybody is somebody that has been out there and got demolished. They know what it's like to get past breaking waves. They know what it's like to ride big waves. In the exact same way that as you're developing this life right here, right now, in whatever endeavor that you're embarking on, if it's online business, if it's creating an education business, you need to go through the phases of not knowing what you're doing. And you have a few options here. Like a surfer goes out, maybe he gets lessons. Maybe he's guided by somebody, a teacher, a mentor out there showing him the ropes. Just like when I learned to surf, I surfed a lot with my uncle. He was my mentor. He was my teacher when it came to surfing. And then I got to a phase of being able to do it on my own. In the same way that's something you can do in online business, or creating a business, or building your personal finance foundation, saving income, whatever it is. All I'm trying to say is you have to go through a phase of not knowing what you're doing. And instead of having resistance and feeling like you're less than, accept that phase and enjoy that phase with nobility. Because when you enjoy this phase with nobility, you actually learn quicker. So in the same way, if I'm just going to be an imposter surfing, taking pictures, yada, 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 maybe never learn, maybe always try to go out there as a kook and like prove my dominance, you're going to look stupid. Does that make sense? Because you don't know what you're talking about and you don't know what you're doing. And you're going to actually earn or have more disrespect come upon you. So ultimately, you have two paths. And the only path that will get you there the quickest is acceptance of this moment. That is the foundation. That'll always be my end-all, be-all answer. Acceptance of this moment. Letting go of any resistance. Taking strategic action. Learning from people that have done what you want to do. It's as simple as that, guys. And ultimately, you have to be a kook. So if you're a kook, be grateful. And if you're a kook in business, be grateful. Because that ultimately was my, I would say, biggest lever of leverage was I was never scared to share where I was. And I was never scared to ask for help. And I was never scared to share exactly what I was going through and accept exactly where I was. In the past, did I resist things a lot? Did I compare myself? Did I create worse snowballs of overthinking and neurotic tendencies because I was fearful of being viewed as a person who I didn't want to be viewed like? Yes, but I learned from that. And I continue to learn every single day. So you're exactly where you're supposed to be. That's all I'm trying to say. And you have to start out as a kook. Much love, fam. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.
I just gotta start making some stuff, you know? Hey, we're out here every day, but you don't tell me nothing, man. Get out of my face.